Hello everyone, Niev here, and today I am doing my tarot trimester, which is something I've been doing for the last couple of years now, and it's basically 3 videos a year where I'm just kind of going over my practice, largely my spiritual practice. That's why it's called tarot trimester, for a little bit of alliteration there. And since it is August, it is planner season now. So it's the perfect time for my Techo Kaigi, or the meeting of planners. And so because of that, this video will not just cover my spiritual journals here. That's what's right here is my spiritual journals for all the years that I've used them, used Hobonichi. But I'm also going to cover what's over here, which is my my regular planner agenda / social media journals here, trackers, and my study journals, my spiritual journals, and my undated journals and accessories. So lots to cover here, and let's get started. So I will have timestamps for this for the sections that of interest. So if you're just here for the spiritual stuff, the tarot, witchcraft, spiritual journals, then I'll put a timestamp on there so that you can just go to that section. But I am going to cover all of my journals. So I'm going to talk about things that are not tarot, witchcraft themed. But yeah, so in each of these sections, I will cover the previous journals, planners, etc. that I've used, my current one, and my plans for 2027. And since it's planner season kind of starts in August, and for especially if you're a Hobonichi user, because all of the previews for the next year start on August 1st, and then this year everything will be revealed on like August 25th, I think. So I wanted to do this video a little bit later after all of the previews for 2027 have been revealed. However, the video I was going to do today, I don't have the item in yet. I was going to do a deck review or deck walkthrough of a new deck, but it hasn't come in yet. So I'm going to do my my tarot trimester today. And yeah, so I still have, as of the recording of this video, there are still 3 more reveals left for Hobonichi. So there may be some changes to my plans going forward. So each of these sections, I'm going to start off with my just my typical planners. This is my actual planner that I use. Like, this is the actual planning part, the agenda. And obviously, as you can see, I go for the One Piece collection every year for this. And it will be no different for 2027. So starting off, the first one I did was 2023, and this was the first full year that I actually did Hobonichi. I started buying Hobonichi stuff in 2022, and I got a couple things from that year. But the first actual year that I got Hobonichi was for 2023, and that's what this one is. And for this year, I went with the A6. I go for the A6 every single year for Hobonichi, and I do the cover with the cover on cover for it. Yeah, and that's just what I've been going for every single year. But I've kind of changed up how I've done things throughout the years. This first year, I did a lot of decorations. Now this first year, it wasn't so much a planner. It was kind of a lot of different things. I did do some planning in here, especially up in the top here, but it was a lot of artwork that I did, and I was trying to do covering whatever I watched and read, etc. And I was doing a lot of my Japanese notes in this, because I've been learning Japanese since basically since the beginning of 2023, but I was kind of dipping my toes into it at the end of 2022. So this first year with Hobonichi was a lot of my initial Japanese studies. That says party. So like some of this, my daughter's birthday was there, and my other daughter's birthday was right here, and yeah. So I was doing a lot of decoration in this, and a lot of like study stuff. This was kind of a study journal. So this one I don't mind sharing a little bit of, because there was a lot of, I don't share the insides of my planners because a lot of it's really personal stuff. And since this was the first year, I did a lot of decorating, and it became too much because there was a lot of days that I just didn't do anything. So I kind of, instead of backfilling, I just put stickers. I decorated and put stickers in there, so like, but it was fun. It did turn out pretty cool. I had some really beautiful pages in this. Thought that turned out really pretty. Yeah, but there are a lot of like blank pages in here, things where I was kind of planning out. I sort of fell off track on some of these. Yeah, and then I started just using these as scratching notes and stuff. So really enjoyed this year. So that was my first year. My second year, this is the second Hobonichi cover. I have all these stencils in here that I kind of forgot were in here. So these are all the One Piece themed. Well, this one is generic, and this one was generic Hobonichi stuff, but they've probably been in this for the last few years, and I have not used these. So I should probably pull these out and use them. This was 2024, right? Yeah, 2024. Oh, and you saw the first year here. I had this, the weekly insert, and this was actually where I was doing a lot of the planning stuff was in this. This was almost my agenda. So it was like the messy, scratchy kind of planning. And I think I also had it for this year too, and use that for that. And I have to kind of be careful with what I show in here because it is... some of this, a lot of it's scratch. It's not as decorated as that first year because I started to use this more and more as, I did do some of it, some of the decorating, but that fell off pretty quickly. And then I started just using it as just a planner. And that's when I realized that I think that's what I want to use these for. It's just planning. So, and I had a Christmas list in the back there. Oh, and this was the pencil board for this year. Oh, I also have at the end of 2022, I had, these were moon readings. So I was doing a little bit of witchcraft stuff in here too. I don't seem to have the pencil board in here. I think I have that somewhere else. But this was the pencil board for 2024. So there we go. So that's 2024. 2025, I didn't actually like this cover very much. This is my least favorite of the One Piece covers. And I did do a lot of decorating in the beginning. I was doing the different moons. So full moon, new moon, third quarter, first quarter moons. Let's see what I was doing for the yearly tracker here. Oh, this was a menstrual tracker. Oh, and this one was planning, I was doing... Oh, this was, so I actually started doing this in 2024, and I kept up with this. This is my YouTube video tracker. So whatever videos I upload to YouTube, that's what I started to put in here. And this has stuck throughout the years. I don't think I did that in the first year here, but I definitely did that I started it in 2023 and continued it. And this was fabulous. And this has been the main thing that I've used this yearly index for is it was perfect for this, perfect for my my YouTube videos. And that's why I started calling this not just my regular agenda, my daily agenda, but also my my social media tracker. So using the yearly agenda for the YouTube videos that I put up worked really, really well for me. So and then I've always been a little confused on how to use the monthly layout. And I put a little sticky note in here to say maybe I'll put Instagram and TikTok and then also birthdays and stuff in here. And I was also I was trying to use this as a little bit of a catch-all. Right here is what I would post to Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, I just I didn't really stick with that, However, for 2026, I did basically just kept the monthly layout for what I post on Instagram and TikTok. So now I'm not really going to show too much of the pages here. I didn't use this one very much. And I think part of it is also that I did not love this cover. So I just didn't use my daily agenda as much as I would have liked. There's plenty of pages in here that are kind of empty or mostly empty. I did start using a sticker system that was working, mostly for Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And this was working pretty well. And I refined it better for my 2026 journal. But there was this is when I started to use this more as a scratchy agenda. And this one wasn't great with keeping up with it, but it worked. It served its purpose. I'll put it that way. It served its purpose. But it's my least favorite cover for that year. So I did not really like this cover. Now for 2026, this is my current one, and I think this might be my favorite cover of them. And one of the issues I have with this is with this one is that all three of these go together really, really well. And this one is kind of the odd one out. But yeah, so that's part of the reason why I didn't really like this one very much. It was just different than the other ones, and I liked the cohesiveness, so I was really happy they went back to this sort of style for 2026. Now for 2027 they're changing it again, but I actually am really excited for this change. So this is my current agenda / social media tracker. The first page here, I have the months. I printed off stickers for the months in Irish because the two main languages I learned are Irish and Japanese. I've been learning Irish for an extremely long time, at least until 2012, probably earlier than that, but yeah. So for quite some time, I've been learning Irish, though very loosely. I could not hold a conversation in Irish at all. It's not been as formal as my Japanese studies have been, and even my Japanese studies are not formal. It's still self-study, and it goes through waves of I'm studying a lot or I'm hardly studying at all. So it's starting to become much looser. But anyway, so I printed off all the months on sticker paper in Irish, and this has been my menstrual tracker, and I'm showing this a little bit because I've really been paying attention to my menstrual tracker now because I've started entering perimenopause. And so I'm starting to have very strange and irregular periods. Unfortunately, they've been closer together. So like every 20, 21 days, which really sucks, But yeah, so I have, and I'm having other symptoms that are indicating that I have now entered perimenopause. So yeah, anyway, sorry for the period talk if that bothers you. Loving the using this section for my video, tracking what videos I upload to YouTube. And I put all the months in Irish here at the top. So yeah, and we're currently in Lunasa, that's August. Now I have kind of messed this up a little bit here. Yeah, so actually I am posting this on the date that I originally set to post on it, so that's cool. But yeah, I've kind of, some of these I switch around a bunch. You can see a bunch of scribbles, so I don't keep it. It's a plan, and then I adjust it as the month goes along. So then the months have been, the monthly pages have been what I'm posting to Instagram and TikTok. So on Mondays, I've marked this as Monday Makes. So I generally post like artsy or crafts type of stuff. Sometimes it's, it's not a strict the days are not strict. Sometimes I move things around if I need to. But in general, on Mondays, I post like artsy or crafts type stuff, knitting, artwork, things like that. On Tuesdays, Tarot Tuesday. So I've been doing a pick a card once a month, like a 3-minute long video of pick a pile, and trying to do very short readings that last most 3 minutes, because Instagram and YouTube will only let me make short/reels that are 3 minutes or less. I can make them longer on Instagram, but then it won't show it to new audiences. It'll just show it to my the people who follow me. So I have to keep it under 3 minutes. And YouTube, you have to keep it under 3 minutes to for it to be a short. Otherwise, it'll post it as an actual video. And that has happened to me a couple times where it was like 3 minutes and 1 second, and then it posted as an actual video, and I had to delete it and like adjust it a little bit so that it would post as a short. But anyway, so I've been doing pick a card once a month. I'm doing deck pairings. So it's just, I'm picking a deck and then picking like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 other decks that I'm doing, that I'm pairing with it, and taking lots of different pictures of different layouts with these pairings. And I've been doing those once a month, and I post them on Instagram and TikTok. So if you're interested, go check those out. So what else I post? I post my moon reading pictures and any any tutorials that I'm doing. So I was doing my grid style card series, which I'm still kind of doing. And I'm doing that on YouTube as well. So I've been posting those on Tarot Tuesdays. On Wednesday is Witchy Wednesday. So sometimes it's just witchy pics, pictures of me doing witchy stuff. Sometimes it's witchcraft Q&A videos. Sometimes I do deck reviews, even though that's more of a Tarot Tuesday thing. It depends. Sometimes I do deck reviews sometimes these 2 days kind of get intermingled. Yeah, and I've been doing my spiritual journal flip throughs. I've been doing on Witchy Wednesday. Yeah, so that's kind of, and any witchcraft type stuff. So I was doing my altar and decks for Brige, the goddess Bridget. Also doing that for Ondagda, so decks for Ondagda, that was doing here. So and as you can see, I do get a little bit scribbly with this if things aren't going perfect. Like if I change plans or whatever, I do scribble out what I've done or what changes there are. But anyway, so Thursday is Thursday Thoughts, and pretty much the same thing every single day. It's the weekly flip through of my study journal. Friday is a bit of a free day. I called it Friday Fascinations. So Friday free day, Friday Fascinations. It's kind of the other category. And so I've been doing some on Friday I've been putting, this one I did a witchcraft thing. So sometimes I move stuff around. So Friday's a bit of a free day. So then Saturday is my study Saturday, and it is the same thing every single Saturday. It is just my study reel. I do a video. I record myself studying for 1 day in the week, and then that's the video that I put up on Study Saturday. Now, Sunday is a little bit of a free day. I called it Selfie Sunday. Sometimes I post selfies. Sometimes they're sexy selfies, whatever. I put those kind of things on Sunday. I also do a month ahead post, so sometimes I squeeze that in on certain days that it makes sense for, which might be a Sunday, might be a Monday, etc. So yeah, that's basically my schedule for Instagram and TikTok. Is Monday makes, Tuesday Tarot Tuesday, Witchy Wednesday, Thursday Thoughts, Friday Fascinations, Study Saturday, and Selfie Sunday. All right, so I was doing a budget tracker here, which I won't really show too much, but I kind of fell off from that. I do record my stuff that I buy just for me on a program on the computer, but I was also trying to keep that in this as well, and I do hope to do the same thing in 2027, but I've obviously fallen off the track here. The last thing I wrote in here was in June. I have not been handwriting my my budget stuff for the last few months. So then the actual days. Now I'm going to go to a more blank page here where I didn't do much. Okay, so here's a blank page. I didn't do much here. But I'm mostly keeping up with this. There's only a few blank pages like this where there's not a whole lot. So I have really kept on track with this, I think. So I am actually doing some minimal decorations in this. I don't show it on Instagram, TikTok, or any of the socials. But this really helps me out. The color coding, the time blocking here really helps me out with planning. I color code the start and the end of the day. So I put it at 6 o'clock and I put it at, I think this is 11 o'clock. So waking up at 6, going to sleep at 11. I don't necessarily wake up at 6. Sometimes it's later, sometimes it's earlier. And I don't necessarily go to sleep at 11. These are just guidelines for me. I'm basically separating out my days to morning because this is at noon. So it's my lunch line, which I don't always have lunch exactly at that time, but it's there. It's just there to mark off section out my days. So I have morning, afternoon. This is my dinner line, which is at the 7 o'clock mark. And then I have evening right here. So, and that helps me immensely. And I started doing that in the little weekly insert thing when I was using this, because doing it like this was not helpful to me because I kind of just fell off the track on that. But once I started doing that over here, once I started just separating out lunch and dinner, I started to use this a lot more. And I guess I just needed that visual. I just needed the visual. Even if I don't always have lunch at noon and dinner at 6 or 7, or waking up at 6 and going to sleep at 10 or 11, even though I don't always go, those aren't always at those times, just sectioning out my day like this, having that visual really helped a lot. So that's what I started kind of, I wouldn't say obsessively, but like just consistently doing that for 2026. And this has helped a lot. And there's just a little bit of decoration in it, just a little bit. I don't want it to get too bulky, but I enjoy coming in here now. I'm trying not to show any personal stuff because sometimes I put personal stuff in here. Like sometimes I'll put phone numbers in here or, bills, etc. But I try to keep the decorations minimal, and it is a bit of a scratchy agenda thing. So, and I am decorating it month by month. So I haven't decorated, anything past August. I will have to do that soon. But yeah, all right. So for 2027, I am obviously getting the One Piece collection for my daily agenda / social media tracker. I've decided on the regular cover with the special cover on cover, and I will actually show one of my undated journals real quick. So this year, for the One Piece collection, they really knocked it out of the park. I'm really happy with everything they've brought out for One Piece, and it's making my decisions much more difficult. But so for the One Piece cover with cover on cover, they are doing something special, and they did something similar a few years ago. This was 2022, and some of the stuff that I had bought from 2022. I use an undated journal in here as one of my study journals. So it's very thin. It's a very thin little, I don't put a thick journal in here. And I use this for my daily, for my kanji study, Kanji from 0 to book. But anyway, this for 2022, they did a collab with Inuyasha, which I fucking love Inuyasha. And their cover was special. It was a special cover on cover that had prints on it. So it has the clouds, and it has Inuyasha in Japanese right here. I put a sticker here on the back, but an Inuyasha sticker. But and then the cover itself was like this. So they're doing a similar thing for 2027 for the One Piece collection. They're doing a special cover on cover that specifically goes with their One Piece cover. So, oh, and I got the the one piece pencil board, or I mean not one piece, I'm sorry, Inuyasha pencil board to go with this here. So this is one of my undated ones. I'm definitely getting that for my agenda, and yeah, really excited about that one. I'm also really excited about their bow and tie prints for the weeks, and the hone for the One Piece collection. I have no purpose whatsoever for a hone or for with the One Piece collection, so unfortunately, I'm not going to get that, but man, do I want it. But they've done the bow and tie prints before in the past, and I've kind of been meh on them, on their choices. I think there was 1 or 2 years that I really liked what they picked for that. But the one for, I think it was 2026, I think, the one that was gray, it had like a gray background. I didn't like that one at all. I just, the colors were not for me. However, for 2027, that orange is amazing, and I'm pretty sure I'm at least going to get the weeks in that, and it might be my art journal. So right now, for my art journal, I am using this from 2026. So I am going to show a little bit of the next category here. This is my current art journal, and it's art slash translations. So this print is so beautiful. Oh my God, so pretty. So I am using this dated sort of as a weekly sort of thing. I'm not doing literally anything with the front part here. I'm completely ignoring this, but I'm doing artwork in this. So this is a painting that I did in my Hobonichi here. So I'm doing artwork once a month, so that way it's not too much of a struggle. I'm just doing one painting a month, basically. And then on the other side, I'm translating the little quotes that are at the bottom of the bottom of the weeks. And this is kind of combining, it's letting me do some art, getting back into art and stuff, while also, combining it with my Japanese studies and translating the little quotes at the bottom. So I only do the artwork once a month, but the rest of the week or rest of the month, I do this is like PET tape, pet tape stickers. So I'm doing like stickers, and this was actually stamps that was all over here. And sometimes it's just simple washi. And yeah, so, and then there's some more stickers and stamps and a little bit of art, like I just quickly drew some trees in the background there. Yeah, so, and this was painting number 2. So I will quickly show do a flip through of this. So washi on this one, this was like PET tape, which I kind of did a very simple like marker sky background, gloomy sky here, and a little bit of PET tape. I am concerned about, I'm getting more of this pet tape, the PET tape, and I am slightly concerned that some of the stuff is like AI art, and which I didn't think about when I bought some of these, but at the same time, it seems to be rampant. Yeah, but anyway, so this was some stamps that I did, some stamps that I had from an old stamp collection that I had, very like witch's brew type stuff, like potion bottles and stuff. I thought that was pretty. This is a painting of a dog that I did for March. So there we go. So just doing a little flip through. This is more of that pet tape. Oh, I skipped one. Yep. This was a sewing stamp collection I have. Then there was a giraffe that I painted. Giraffes are my favorite animals. Washi tape. More pet tape stuff. And this was stamps, a bunch of Celtic knot stamps that I just kind of did this big thing with over here. I just had some fun with it. Here is a fish painting that I did in here. So this was a recreation of another painting that I did. Maybe I'll put it on screen, maybe not. Yep. More PET tape, stamps. Here are some strawberries that I painted. And yeah, getting near the end here. This was from an Inuyasha paper pack thing from Hobonichi. So that's what that was. And then I painted Jimothy, the raccoon that kind of went viral. And that's what that says right here. Jimoshi. Jimoshi. So I painted Jimothy there. And more pet tape stuff. All right, and this is my latest one. This is a orangutan that I painted. So cool. All right, and this is, and I still have one more week to do this month. So yeah, that's my art journal. So I'm probably going, I want to do an art journal again for 2027, and I think I'm going to get the one piece bow and tie one because I really like that print for that. So that is that plan. All right, so the next section is my study journals. So I'm going to try to go fast through this since I'm already half an hour into this video. So this is going to be a long video. All right. So 2023, this was my first year of doing a Japanese study, like first full year of doing Japanese study stuff. So I started this as a kind of a diary, and I called it my Nihongo no Nikki, and that means my Japanese language diary. And my weekly pages, I did do artwork. I was doing artwork in this, once a month artwork, and just doing a short sentence about my day. And I was also putting in the hiragana there at the top. And this was a lot of fun to do, but look how, this got... it was a lot of heavy use. This week's took a lot of heavy abuse here. So this is obviously cyberpunk. Yeah. So I went with a theme, an anime theme for each of the months. This is, of course, Agretsuko. I'm not going to show every single one. One Piece here. These are drawings / paintings that I was doing in this. I did a Totoro thing here. Let's see, what other paintings did I do? And I really like, I love, this was probably my favorite. This was Cowboy Bebop, and this was probably my favorite page of this. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this. But I will say, because it was also my first year learning Japanese, a lot of my... almost every entry was something that I Google translated, so it wasn't a lot of knowledge on my part. It was learning, but it wasn't a lot of knowledge on my part. Ooh, and I skipped a painting here, a Sailor Moon painting. Here we go, Sailor Moon. Yeah. So yeah, but this was still a lot of fun. Oh, I love how this one turned out. That was a drawing that I did of Anya from Spy Family. Love that. And you can see later on they did a collab with Spy Family, which of course I went ahead and got everything from there. So I just want to show a lot more of this one because I actually did artwork in this one. So I'm just trying to show some of the paintings that I did. Ooh, love this. Love how I'm so, it's been a long time since I looked through these, so I'm so in awe of myself right now. I was like, oh, right, that painting that I did. I had so much fun doing this. And this one was fun too. And then I think that was it. Yeah. So a lot of fun. I had to get this thing, this thing for the weeks, because as you can see there, I did a lot of art in that. So that was 2023. I did Nihongo no Nikki again for 2024. However, I changed it up, and this year, and I didn't do artwork and stuff in this. This was mostly just stickers and pasted in stuff, but it is quite thick. And I loved the Opanchu Usagi theme. This was a lot of fun. So one thing I really like about Hobonichi is that it introduces me to stuff from Japan that I would have never come across. And I would have never come across this weird little a diaper bunny thing, and I love, that's one of the things I love about Hobonichi. It's very weird. It's very weird. Or some of the stuff is very weird, and I like it. I love the weird, and so I really I got a lot of the stuff from this Opanchu Usagi collaboration. One of my spiritual journals right here was the Opanchu Usagi theme. So yeah, I loved this theme. So what I did this year for my Nihongo no Nikki, my study journal here, my Japanese diary, I was watching an episode a week of this show called Terrace House, and obviously there were a couple weeks that I missed So of course it's going straight to the pages that I missed, but well, I did like 90% of the year I did. There were only a few missed weeks. But yeah, so I watched an episode a week of this show called Terrace House, and it's a Japanese reality show, and I basically watched one episode a week, but I watched it multiple times. And so I would watch it once, I think I played around with how I did it, but one of the watch throughs I watched completely in Japanese with English subtitles. Japanese voiceover with English subtitles. Then I would watch it again with Japanese subtitles. Then I would watch it again with no subtitles whatsoever and just in Japanese. And I kind of did that, some variation of that. Sometimes I switched that around a little bit and I watched it one or two more times. And then what I would do is I would pick random sentences from the episode, and I had a separate like three spiral notebook that I would write the different phrases or things that were said in that, and then I would transfer it to my journal here. And so that was a lot of fun. I did get really sick of it after a certain after probably 5 months or so, maybe halfway through the year, I got really sick of it, and I was glad to be done with that. And I don't think I'll do this again, but I did like the idea of it. So there we go. And then 2025, I switched from weeks. So these 2 years I used weeks. 2025 and 2026, I've been using an A6. So, and I've kind of kept the same sort of theme for both of these. And I went from calling it a Nihongo no Nikki to now a Benkyo Noto, which means study notebook. And what I did for this, and I forgot to say, for the first year, I did a daily kanji. I did a daily kanji for the first year in the month section. The second year, I didn't do anything in the month section. I completely took out all those pages. Yeah, and I just used the weekly pages for that. And for 2025, I went back to the monthly. I'm using, and here is one of my other books here. I am using, this is in one of the A5 one-piece covers here, kanji dictionary. And I'm going through kanji by kanji, entry by entry, and basically doing a little thing. So I'm doing a kanji a day, which you can see here in the monthly section. And I really try to stick with the Spy Family theme, since this is a Spy Family book. So each of the stickers in these sections are Spy Family themed. However, I went a little bit off from that in the actual study parts themselves. I did do a lot of the Spy Family stickers. This did not work for me at all. This habit tracker thing, habit trackers don't work for me. I really tried to stick with this for 2025, but I'm terrible at it. So what I did was, I would do a kanji a day, and I would do it big, medium, and small. I do how it's said, like the different ways that it's said. And then I would list about 4 words using that kanji. 4 words or phrases using that kanji right here. And I would do that for 5 days a week, basically. And that's why the monthly pages, I put stickers and stuff over Saturday and Sunday. So I basically just kept a 5-day kanji for 5 days a week, basically. And I did the same thing for this year. What I put in the meat of the pages, for a while I was doing some tests, tests that I was doing, because I was perhaps going to take the JLPT at the end of 2025, which I decided not to. I took the JLPT at the end of 2024 and passed, yay! But I decided not to do that at the end of 2025, so I didn't do that. And I'm not going to do it this year either. But I was doing tests, basically, and that's what I was putting in this section. And then at a certain point, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing, once I decided that I wasn't going to do the JLPT, I switched to doing the book that I'm reading, a children's book that I'm reading in Japanese, and just going through and translating and using this section to translate sections of that book. And I've continued that for 2026. So this is 2026. Now, I went with the Avec this year because 2026 was a weird year for Hobonichi. And as you can see, I went hog wild on the Tamagotchi theme. I was so excited about this. So here's the thing with me and Hobonichi. I like the fun stuff. I don't like the boring, like, simple, classy or, professional looking stuff. To me, all that stuff's boring. It's boring as shit to me. I mean, no shade to anyone who likes that stuff, but like for me personally, I like all the plain colored stuff. I find boring. I want fun. And that's part of what I love about Hobonichi. I want fun. A criticism of this is that, oh, it's why would grown adults want such childish stuff? And it's like, you know what? Shut up. Yeah, I like the fun stuff. So I had to get the Avec, which I was always opposed to, because 2026 was a weird year with Hobonichi, and they were only selling covers with techos. They were only selling, and what they would sell to the U.S. was very limited. And I don't want my journals and stuff to be in English. I want the Japanese versions, for obvious reasons. And I could only get the Japanese version of the A6 in an Avec. So I had to get the Avec. And of course, I had to decorate it. So I have, this was the first half of the year. And it says, my name, Niabu's no Benkyo Noto. So it basically, Nia's study notebook. And then I loved all the Tamagotchi stickers. This was a background that I made from these things here, the envelopes. The little A6 envelopes. I scanned these and then I put them in Photoshop and basically created covers out of them. So that was this one here. Yeah. So the backs I kept the same, and I scanned all the stickers too. So some of these, like these are the stickers that I actually bought from Hobonichi, but I scanned all of them. Now the holo doesn't obviously translate, but the plain stickers did. So I made a bunch of these stickers. But yeah, so this is the second half of the year. These are the backs. These are the fronts. Really happy with how this turned out. We've got the little folders back here, and I've been doing the same sort of thing as the previous year, so not much to say different here. And I'm getting near the end of this book. I think I'll finish the book in the next month or two, and when I finish that, I don't know what I'm going to put in the meat of the pages for the last few weeks. But yeah, so that is my study book. So my plan for 2027 for my study stuff, I'm going to switch back to a week's, and that was my plan from the beginning. I wanted to switch back to a week's, so like these, but I'm still going to keep the kanji a day, this sort of layout with the kanji a day, and this is the pencil board for it. I'm going to keep this layout, but I got to adjust it for a week's, and yeah, so I want to do a week's for 2027, and I wrote in my notes app, before any of the previews came out, for my 2027 study journal, I wrote something fun ? Maybe yellow ? That's what I wrote. So my plan, and this was when this collab was revealed, I am 100% getting the Puppet Sunsun Banana Weeks. Oh my God. So when the first day, the first actual day was shared, it was the colors one. Now, before that, they shared a Japan only thing. All those penguin designs. I love those so much, but they're Japan only, so I probably won't be able to get that. But I was really considering that the Tokyo weeks for that one, and I might be putting these up on the screen. Hopefully, I am. But yeah. But they're only available in Japan, so the only way I would get that is some different means of getting it. So the first actual reveal that they showed was the colors, and they were all meh to me. The colors were very meh to me. But I really liked the yellow weeks from that, and I was like, oh, I did write maybe something yellow ? You know, so maybe like if there's another like cover on cover like this sort of thing that I really like, I might get that yellow weeks. And then they shared the puppet Sunsun, and I've never heard of that little puppet before. And again, this is one of the things that I love about Hobonichi. It just introduces me to stuff that I would never have come across. So really excited about that. I love that whole collection. However, I'm not interested in the other covers, the A6 or the A5 covers, because honestly, it's a little bit too much branding on there. I love characters on things like this. I would have loved it if it didn't say Spy Family. Like I would have had a different sort of layout for this one, but the Opanchu Usagi stuff, I love that it doesn't say Opanchu Usagi and it's just the character. I love the One Piece stuff where it just has Luffy here on the cover. It doesn't, and it has a thin spine that says One Piece. If it said One Piece on the top, I wouldn't love that as much. But yeah, so the Puppet Sunsun stuff, I don't love the branding on it. But that weeks, I absolutely fell in love with. I was like, that's it. That's my study journal, my Bankyo Noto for 2027. And I'm really excited to get into that. Okay, so my undated stuff. I'm very quickly going to go through these. First up is the PVC wrap thingies. Oh, and speaking of, for 2027, I almost forgot about this. For 2027, for my Bankyo Noto, my study journal, I am going to also get, along with the weeks, I'm going to get the sweets Allatone, because that's like what these are called, basically the Allatone covers. I am going to get the sweets Allatone cover to hold the banana weeks. And I think that combination is going to be amazing. But anyway, so these are the other ones that I have of that collection, of that type of cover. It is the Allatone cover, the PVC wrap things. And I don't keep actual journals in these. I keep like, well, this one is sort of like that. I keep books like this. So this, my kanji dictionary fit really well in this, and that's just what I keep it in. So there's a kanji dictionary for this one. This actually does have a journal in it, but it has this is the Panchu Usagi, and I got the this is a Japanese math book. It basically says trigonometry. that's what it says right here, trigonometry. And I've been doing, one of the study things I've been doing is math in Japanese, and so it's a lot of fun. And of course, my focus is not so much the math, even though that is fun. And it's very simple stuff. Like it's like an introductory to trigonometry. So, you know, sure, I'm remembering some stuff from a long ass time ago, but like, you know, it's not anything that's particularly new to me, math wise, but my focus is the Japanese. So, and I've been having a lot of fun with this. So, and my journal for that is over here. And this is, I loved this whole collection, this Denali Mountain collection. I have several items from that collection. So this is, and I use the, I use the Inuyasha A5 pencil board for this. But this is my study journal for my Japanese math book. And yeah, so a lot of the translations going in here, and I draw all the diagrams, and I draw the you know, the things next to the diagrams, like the descriptions of the diagrams. Here's a pyramid I drew, and don't measure this because I just eyeballed it. Yeah, so I have really loved doing this, and I do take videos of myself doing these these study stuff, and I put them in my study reels on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, so that is, really love this. I'm going to keep continuing to use that. This, I don't actually have anything in this. I do, well, technically I do have this. I have the Kami to Yokai book in here, though it doesn't actually fit. I can't put it in here. It's just a little bit too tall. So I don't have an actual purpose for this cover right now. It's just housing this for the time being. But I really wanted to get it, and I know it's kind of consumery of me. This whole video is incredibly consumery of me, but this is something I love, and I do utilize the vast majority of the things that I get. Some of it I don't quite have a purpose for, but yeah, so it's there. Okay, so we already showed this one. This was from the workbook Kanji from 02, so we saw that one. This one is my Wani-Kani book. And Wani-Kani is a program. This is one of the One Piece pencil boards. Wani-Kani is a kanji program that I do pay for, and I do kanji for that, so that's in there. And it took me a long time to find this cover because it was out of stock. I had to buy this from a different seller somewhere, and it was a little pricey. And this one, if you're familiar with my channel, you will have seen this lots of times. This is my my study book for my Kami to Yokai deck. So I'll just show one of the pages from here. Yeah, so, and it's blank because I've already marked out each of the yokai in here. So whenever I pull that particular yokai, I decorate the page specified for it. So this will be a many years book here. Yeah, so I'm just doing a study of that deck, and I do share videos of this on my channel and on Instagram and TikTok. So check that out. All right, so that was the Kami to Yokai. And I put, it's the Denali background with, I got this koi fish sticker online somewhere. And it came with two, so I have another one that I might put somewhere on the inside. I just haven't. But yeah, so I like to do this with the cover on covers. So you have the pretty art of the cover itself, and then on the cover on cover, I put in a sticker to just kind of add to it. So I was specifying that this was a Japanese specific book. So these are all books that I have used or are currently using, very undated, and yeah, so this one here, I'm not going to show too much of this. This is my therapy journal. I did go to therapy for almost 2 years. I have since stopped going to therapy, but if I do go back to therapy, then I will utilize this book again. This is the Yumi Kitagishi collab, and I really only liked the stuff from the first year. So this was from the first year, and I have not really been into this collection hardly at all. So many people love this collection, and I really only liked this first year. Yeah, so, and the current picks for this, I do really like that the A5 cover, but not enough to get it. And yeah, it's for the most part, this isn't really my thing, but I really liked this one cover. And I got, you know, like I think I used the Opanchu Usagi pencil board for this. But yeah, I don't want to share this. I was putting in over here like my therapy appointments, but yeah, it's this very sparsely used book. And I will get back into it if I start up therapy again. So there's that. Now, this one was it was my menstrual tarot journal. So I was trying to do this was for my spiritual stuff. I was trying to do a practice where I was focusing around my menstrual cycle. And this was actually before I started the perimenopause symptoms as well. So maybe it would be a good idea to try something again like this, but this completely did not work for me. I only did like a couple months. I did a few. I was using this as a menstrual tracker a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can find something where I'll hide my interpretation, but I was doing very minimal decorations in here, and just doing a little bit of here was a actual thing that I printed off. You know, yeah, it's mostly just for me, but I don't think I had quite a direction that I was going with it. So as of right now, this is unused, but I do plan to use this as just a random go in here as I want to tarot journal or spell journal, like whatever, you know, maybe just brain dump, just random spiritual stuff is kind of what I'm going to use this for if I use it. So this one largely got unused, and it's the only one that really didn't work for me. Now this one is my knitting journal, and it's largely unused, except I do use it. Okay, so it's a little confusing. I got the, I went with the Denali stuff, and I loved this year they gave us free, the free item when you bought a Techo was another notebook, basically. So I have these here. I haven't used this at all, but I have it here. But this... I have an index here. I really only have one project in here because I am a slow knitter. I largely just knit socks, and it takes me several years to knit one pair of socks. And that's because I do fancy stuff with my socks. I don't just knit straight a straight sock, you know. All my socks are gay, but I knit like lots of different like cables and twists and things like that. So they're fancy socks. They're fancy socks that I knit. So, and I'm very slow with it. It takes me a long ass time. I've been doing this for a couple years now, this one set of socks. And so I utilize this. It's just, you know, it's a slow utilization. And I loved the cover on cover for this. It was like this wintry scene, and a lot of people didn't really like this. It was called Beautiful Season, I think, and I liked it because I loved all the knitting stuff with it. Like it had yarn, it had mittens. I liked this, and I thought it was perfect for a knitting journal. So it's not used a lot, but I do use it. And I have this pencil board with it, and that Yumi Kirigishi from the previous years in there. So cool. So that is that one. Now, these are largely unused. However, I do have plans for them. So the middle one is the one that I have actually started to put stuff in, and this is my gaming journal. And I actually, I got it as a gaming journal, but I'm using it very specifically as a chess journal. So, and I have a hone inside a cover, and you can actually do that. You can, like everyone says, you can't have a hone inside a cover. You can do that. You just can't put it all the way in. That's the only thing. So you can put it in on one side, and I went with the mother theme here. So on the inside, I'll just go ahead and pull out, and I have a bunch of stickers and stuff in. I loved this theme, the 100% orange theme, but that was the year, and I have all these chest stickers in here. That was the year that you could only get a cover if you got the Techo with it, and I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of Techos, so I didn't get the 100% orange covers, even though I love them, but I got a lot of the accessories for that. So I'll put that off to the side, and here's some more mother accessories. So the the chest journal here, I've just started with it, but I started to do some decorations in here. I made this in Photoshop and printed it off. No AI, just made it myself. And I'm putting in the sections here for what's on the daily pages. And I was going to, and I don't have anything in here really yet. I might actually use these as like chessboards. That'd be kind of neat. Maybe. I don't know that I have, it would work here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. I could still do that, but just like putting, like taping in something. I don't know. That would really bulk this up though. Anyway, so I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. I wanted to do like different openings, and that's what these stickers are. These stickers are different chess openings, and I have a few chess books. So I was going to put like one sticker on this, a page covering the number, and then like giving details about that chest opening, etc., and what it's called. So yeah, that was basically my plan with this. I got this was for 2024. And it was when they introduced the Hones. And I really loved this mother cover. And I was like, I'm going to use it as a gaming journal. And I never did. And then I started to get into chess. And I was like, okay, now I have something to use for this this cover. And I started doing stuff. I just haven't finished it. So that's my chess journal. All right. So this one is not Hobonichi, but I have Hobonichi stuff in it. These are blank notebooks, so I'm not going to show what's in there because there's nothing in there. But I'm kind of using this as a stand-in for my other, I have a 5-year A6 in our bedroom, and that is mine and my husband's couples journal. And we got a cover that looks almost exactly like this. It's green though. This was the first one we got, and I accidentally got the size that was too fits like a regular techo, not the 5-year, so I had to reorder it. And so I use this now to hold this, and I might put witchy stuff in here. I don't know. I never really found a purpose for it. But yeah, but the other cover that we have, and we bought it from an Etsy shop, and N and G, this is Neve and Gwydion, that's myself and my husband, and it's got like a family Celtic knot tree on there. So yeah, my husband and I do a couples journal, and we write in it every single night. We've had it for 3 years now, almost 3 full years, and we have not missed a day. So we write a little message to each other every night, and we also do little doodles for each other. And I absolutely will not share that on public for public consumption, because there's a lot of really not safe for work kind of stuff in there. So very private stuff. So yeah, so this is a little bit of a stand-in on that. And this one I have not used at all. It's completely empty, but this will be my ancestor journal. It says 2025 here, but I'm going to be putting like a family tree sticker on here. I just have not laid out exactly how I want this to go, so I don't have anything in here right now. I do have that Yumi Kirigishi pencil board here from that first year. So I did like some of the stuff from the Yumi Kirigishi. It was like the first year I liked the stuff, and then after that I was like completely uninterested in it. But yeah, so eventually I will have this as an ancestor journal, and I have I liked this Spy Family little thing here with it. All right. Okay, we're 1 hour in on this, and I have one more section to do, and that's my spiritual journals. So I could have split this up, but I think I'm going to just go ahead and do this one long video. So here we go. Okay, here are all of my spiritual journals over my Hobonichi specific spiritual journals. So we'll start off with the first one. So this cover is obviously not Hobonichi. I got this on Etsy, but the inside is a Hobonichi techo. And I'm just going to cover this one really quickly because I did not know exactly what I wanted to do for this. Most of the pages are blank. I do have a good amount of filled pages, but there's a lot of blank pages. So what I had started to do about this, I put in the moon phases in the monthly section. I was basically doing a reading. I was trying to do a reading every single day with my deities, and I set aside which deity I was going to do with which day. But I just could not stick with this. And a lot of it's like doing morning readings. It's just not for me. I'm not a morning spiritual person. So there was a whole lot of blank pages. And then I did start to utilize, I'm going to keep most of these because these are pretty private, but I started to just use it as a tarot journal, and was recording just various readings. I was doing some of them were for holidays. Some of them were just random readings. So this was I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for my spiritual journal kind of journal. And I do think in the future I may reuse this cover. But as of right now, it is just my 2023 2023 spiritual journal. So 2024, right here. Yes, right here. All right. So I did this for 2024 and 2026. I did a 2-book system for my spiritual journals. So, the weeks was my my nightly tarot journal, and this works a lot more for me. A nightly reading works a lot more. I had several pages where I did the whole week, but some weeks I only did a few days. And I was doing the stamping system. I have stamps here in my accessories. Here I have this was the Tamagotchi. What was this called? The Stoppo thing. So it's a pretty big item. And I have the Opanchu Usagi little baggie here, which I really loved. And I have tarot stamps in there. So, and I often kept this in my bedroom with me. And while we're here, I do also have one of the mother drawer pouches, which I don't use at all. And I just have a few other, stamps and stamps and stickers, etc. in these things here. But anyway, I could not stick with the stamping thing. I was not very good at sticking with that. And I kind of felt, well, some of these weeks, I only did 1 day that week. So like the stamping just became a little too much. And I think at this point I stopped. I started just writing the cards in there, whatever cards I was pulling, and doing the interpretations on this side. And then this was my, spiritual journal. So this was a nightly tarot journal. This was like, the moon readings I was doing. This was a lot of fun. This year I had dedicated each month to a deity. So Ganesha for January, Breed for February, Angus for March, etc. And I did really like this. I was hoping to do a study of each of these deities, and some of them I did pretty good on, and others, especially the Welsh ones, I really didn't do much studying of those. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that, but it was very surface level as far as the study of those. But I also put that in here, the monthly page, and I was getting this from an Etsy seller. Maybe I'll put the Etsy seller's name on the screen, because they do still sell this kind of stuff, and it's very pretty. And I was also doing, I did a lot of paste-ins. So this is a chunker. This is a chunker. And the cover that I got was the kind of the astrology zodiac looking, I forget what it's called, but it looked kind of witchy, and I got the plain black with the blue inside cover for it. So for me, the pages, these turned out so nice. These were moon readings, other sorts of specialty readings that I was doing. So I was doing kind of a Venus in transit thing. This was something that a different YouTuber had done. I can't remember which one it was at this point, and I wanted to do the same thing. So I did the Venus in transit type stuff, and I did ancestor readings. So it turned out really cool. I love how this turned out. But it definitely bulked up the pages for sure. So I loved this pencil board with it too. Right here. I'm grabbing all the other stuff. Yeah, this pencil board was gorgeous with this. And, here I have just the stickers of different Oracle and Tarot decks that I was using. And this was also when I started the tarot trimester. So I did, I had a low buy this year. So I was only allowing myself to get 20 decks, and I did get exactly 20 decks that year. I have not stuck with that over 2026 and 2025 either. But for 2024, I did a low buy, and I said no more than 20 decks will come into my collection that year, and I got exactly 20 decks. And then I did the tarot trimesters. This was the first one I did. And then I had this as my wish list, and these were the decks that I used for each of these months, and I kind of fell off from recording this a little bit. I tried to stick with it for 2025 too, but I fell off of this practice. So that is my 2024 tarot and spiritual journals. 2025, I really loved the zodiac theme of the year of the snake, basically. The Chinese, they do a Chinese zodiac thing every year for Hobonichi, and I did get, I really loved the years, the snake one, so I definitely had to get that. And then I got this sticker, 2 of these that I put on each of these, so I really like that. And so for 2027, I'm really excited to see what the year of the goat/sheep will be. If they go with year of the goat, then my plan was to do a similar sort of thing and get a hone, to get a hone in the year of the goat, because I think that would match pretty well with a spiritual, witchy theme. But I have a feeling they're going to go the sheep route, which means they might go a knitting route. And and I don't know what I'm going to do if they go with that route, because if they do a knitting route, I'm going to want to get some of the stuff. But at the same time, as I said, I rarely use this because I'm such a slow knitter. So yeah. Anyway, so I did the same sort of thing. This was my nightly tarot reading, kind of, same sort of layout. I didn't do the stamping thing anymore, but I just wrote down the cards, and then on the other side wrote my interpretations for that. So really nice. This one, I was, I did a lot of, I have some of the Spy Family stuff in there. Same sort of layout here. So I was sticking with that. I was putting a bunch of astrology paste-ins in here in the beginning, just astrology information. Each of the sections I have in Japanese and Irish. So V, or Tsuki, that just basically means months or moons. So the months were right here. I'm very sparse with what I put in the months pages. I want to put more astrology information in this, but yeah, anyway. And I was doing this thing where I was doing kind of like some Dutch doors, making little tabs in here, cutting the pages short. So I had little like pre-made tabs here made out of washi tape. And that was a lot of fun. But maybe a Hobonichi isn't as conducive to something like that. Some of the pages I never really filled out. But love how this turned out. I have a whole section of just moon readings. This were the moon readings, and then back here I did my study of my it was my monthly cards, and it was I got 3 deities a month from the the Lakshmi Oracle. Yes. And I really enjoyed that, but a few of the months I didn't actually write anything in there. So like July and August, I didn't really do much. September, I didn't do that for every single month. I sort of fell off on that practice a little bit, but I did as much as I could. And then I have, I was also doing an astrology study, so, I have a bunch of astrology stuff here. This turned out like a lot of fun, but there were a lot of blank pages, because I didn't use this dated. I was not paying attention to the dates in here at all. These were completely irrelevant. The dates were irrelevant to what I was putting in here. So I did do the tarot tournament. Let's see. These were the decks that I used, and as you can see, I fell off from that. But I did the tarot tournament and an oracle tournament for 2025. So that was a lot of fun. I love the tournaments. These were the new tarot decks I brought in, and these were the new oracle decks I brought in. Obviously, I didn't stick to 20 decks like I did the previous year, but yeah. And here is my wish list from 2025. All right, so now we are on the current year, and I got one of the Trogans, or Tragans, however you call them, and I thought the purple was absolutely stunning, and I hand sewed a patch on there because I love this, and I wanted to go with the Year of the Horse stuff, whatever that was going to be, but I really hated the design for it. So instead, I went for the Junji Ito stuff, and which was absolutely stunning. I like lost my mind with this stuff. It was so beautiful. So I really dove into kind of the gothic side of my practice here, and the art styles of stuff that I put in here was very much in line with this sort of darker aspects of Junji Ito. So I've shown this a bunch, and this is my entire spiritual journal. I pared it down to just a week's. The previous years I used a week's for just my nightly tarot journal. This I've switched to just 100% my spiritual journal is in this week's. So the weekly pages are just my nightly readings, and I kept them all on one line instead of doing what I was doing before, which was using the whole page, because I was also utilizing this side for kind of a weekly reading, which I often don't even do. So I kind of just put some decorations on this side, but I do utilize this side for my nightly tarot readings. And I had the monthlies are just like as they are here. I have this section for my ancestor practice. The pages are a little bit, come on. There we go. So I was using these for my ancestor practice, but I'm not even really using this part, so I didn't end up using this. This was my year ahead spread, and I printed off every card that I used for this Lenormand reading, and I put it in here, and I never even wrote up my interpretations, but I do go back to this every once in a while, and I, whatever quarter I'm in, I look at the box for that quarter, and I'm like, okay, how is that relevant to this quarter right now? Okay, that makes sense. What does that mean, etc. But I never actually wrote down anything for that, so I had these pages here for that, and just never did anything with that. So, and then after the weekly section, in the notes section, the notes section starts right here. I have my moon readings. So just sticking my moon readings to this, and they came out with this this accessory of these tip-ins, these flap-ins, and I love this. And it worked so well for this because then I have my moon reading right here, and then I don't have to keep space for a picture. I can just put the picture on the flap. And on the other side of the flap, I put whatever decks I use, what spread I use, etc. So loving how this turned out. And I show this every single month on my channel. So each of my Enchanted Expectations videos, I go over my monthly readings. So there we go. And we're going to go to the current one here. So this was my latest reading that I did. So I don't have the pictures for it yet. I will print them off and put them in there for my next Enchanted Expectations video. And I am still doing the tarot tournament here. So I have spreads, spells, and notes. This section I just have various spreads and spells that I've done. Wish list, new decks, and deck tournament. So here's my wish list. New decks that I bring in. As you can see, it's already a lot. I have 50 slots, so I gotta get less than 50 decks this month or this year. And wow, talk about consumery. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so, and I've combined the Tarot and Oracle tournament to one. So it's whatever was my favorite deck that I use that month. That's what I'm putting in here. So there we go. All right. So that is it. Here's the pencil board for it. It's got lots of paint on it because I use it behind painting stuff. All right. So that is my 2026 spiritual journal. Now for 2027, my plan going into this was I wanted to get the Year of the Goat, whatever the Year of the Goat thing was, if I liked it, because I hated the Year of the Horse one. It was not for me at all. And so I knew that could be a possibility for 2027. So I was like, well, if I don't like the Year of the Goat one, then I'll get something else. But my preference is the Year of the Goat. Here's the thing, it's also called Year of the Sheep, and I have a feeling they're going to lean into the sheep side and go for a knitting theme, which I also love and would be super tempting for me, but I don't need, so I'm kind of hoping they don't do that, but yeah, anyway. However, I've had some other prospects for what I want to get for my 2027 spiritual journal. So, first change. I am going to go with a cousin. And as you could tell from all of the Hobonichis I have shown, I do have some cousin size, like A5 size covers, but I don't have cousin books. I never got the cousin. This will be my first cousin. I'm switching my spiritual journal to a cousin, and I don't know how it's going to go. I have some ideas on how I'm going to do it. Yeah, and I'll go into detail with that once I get my my cousin in, and I can say, and I can go over the layout and say like, okay, here's my plans for each of these sections. So I'm gonna go with cousin, and so that opens up some possibilities for me for covers. I wanted to do Year of the Goat, but if I don't like it, I've now decided. And I almost wanted to get the One Piece Going Merry cousin, because oh gosh, that's beautiful, and I like that it's black, and it also has the the ram or the sheep on it, so that could be Year of the Sheep there. So that was a pretty big possibility. The other possibility is now the Victoria and Albert cover. I considered the Hone for this, but I actually think I like the cover more. And if I get that cover, I'm going to do a cover on cover situation, and I'll get a really nice pretty sticker to put on the cover on cover, so that I have that beautiful William Morris wallpaper fabric cover, and with a nice pretty, probably a pentacle, something like that, or maybe a triskel right there on the front. That would be really beautiful and really lovely. So that's actually my top contender right now. But we'll see what the Year of the Goat is. So, all right. Okay, so here are all my current journals, dated for the most part here, or the ones that I'm currently actively working in. Yeah, so it is 1 hour and 20 minutes into this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you stuck around, leave me some book emojis in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!